Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines.
Iran's UN envoy Amir Saeid Iravani has raised alarm at the United Nations over reports that senior officials were listed as assassination targets by the US and Israel. In a letter to the United Nations Security Council, he named Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf and Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, warning the threat appears real. Iravani called it a violation of international law as the reports emerge alongside ongoing negotiations. Russian President Vladimir Putin says his country's relations with Europe are in crisis, but insists Moscow is not responsible. Speaking at a weekly Security Council meeting, he rejected claims linking the breakdown to the war in Ukraine, blaming past US policy and European support for political change in Kyiv. Putin said Russia has not abandoned ties with European nations and remains open to restoring relations with the European Union, despite ongoing tensions.
US President Donald Trump has claimed that Iran allowed 10 oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, describing the move as a present that signals progress in ongoing indirect negotiations between the two sides. Speaking during a White House cabinet meeting, Trump said Iran initially offered to allow 8 oil tankers through the strategic waterway as a show of sincerity. He added that the number eventually increased to 10 vessels after Iran reportedly sent 2 additional tankers as an apology over earlier remarks. Trump claimed that some of the tankers were Pakistani flagged.
Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps says the Strait of Hormuz is now closed, warning that any shipping linked to allies of the US and Israel will face harsh measures. State media reports the IRGC has banned transit to and from ports seen as supporting Washington and Tel Aviv, escalating pressure on one of the world's most critical oil routes. At least 3 container ships of different nationalities were reportedly turned back after receiving warnings from Iran's naval forces, signaling immediate impact on maritime traffic in the region.
Moreover, Trump has said that he will extend a pause on attacks against Iran's energy plants into April, and that talks with Iran were going very well. But an Iranian official said a US proposal for ending the war as one-sided and unfair. He threatened during a cabinet meeting at the White House to increase pressure on Iran if it did not make a deal, before later posting on social media that he would pause attacks on Iranian energy plants for 10 days until April 6th. He added in his Truth Social post that talks are ongoing and, despite statements to the contrary by the media, they are going very well. Moreover, the United States has deployed uncrewed drone speedboats for patrols as part of its operations against Iran, the first time Washington has confirmed using such vessels in an active conflict. The Pentagon said the deployment of the vessels, which can be used for surveillance or kamikaze strikes, has not been previously reported. It comes despite a series of setbacks in the US Navy's years-long effort to field a fleet of uncrewed surface vessels.
G7 foreign ministers have held talks on global security as their summit in France nears its conclusion, with conflicts in the Middle East and Ukraine dominating discussions. Meeting near Paris, European officials pressed US Secretary of State Marco Rubio over claims that Russia may be supporting Iran in targeting US forces. The gathering of leading democracies comes amid rising economic uncertainty and concern over shifting US foreign policy under President Donald Trump.
Ukraine and Saudi Arabia have signed an agreement on defense cooperation that lays the foundation for future contracts, technological cooperation, and investments. President Volodymyr Zelenskiy, who is visiting Saudi Arabia, said the agreement was signed ahead of a meeting with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He said on the Telegram app that Ukraine is ready to share its expertise and systems with Saudi Arabia and to work together to strengthen the protection of lives. The United Arab Emirates has told the US and other Western allies it would participate in a multinational maritime task force to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The Financial Times reported that the UAE is trying to push dozens of countries to create a Hormuz security force to defend the strait from Iranian attacks and escort shipping. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.